Good morning, Wolfpack. How you doing? Thor Seth here. Hope y'all are having a great start to your weekend. So, a couple days ago, I went ahead and I filled up my truck, work and everything, and my gas gauge went from E to way past full, and is basically pegged out max on the dashboard. The float's broken. A couple months ago, I went ahead and I ordered the fuel pump for the back on my truck, and it is time to go and replace it. Why replace the float when I can just replace the whole fuel pump? Now, unfortunately, I do have to go and drop the fuel tank. In some cases, you can just lift up the seat, boom, there's the fuel pump. You know, it's so much easier when it's right under the seat, but I don't get that luxury. But I'm gonna go ahead and do this today. I'm gonna take y'all along with me. My dad is coming over to help me film, which I'm very appreciative for, because all I have is this big clunky camcorder. Kind of hard to get angles and stuff like that. So I want to give you guys a full view of, what it takes to drop the fuel tank and stuff like that. This is basically how it's always done with fuel pumps that are inside your tank that you have to drop. So, but it's going to be on my truck, 96 F-250 460. I bought the fuel pump a couple months back and just so busy with everything and life, and so, but today's a good day to do it. I'm excited to bring y'all along with me, and yeah, so I gotta go up top and start getting things prepared because my landlord's a douchebag and stuff like that, but this should be fun. All right, see you then. Hello Wolfpack, it is Thor Seth. So today I am doing the fuel pump on my truck. I'm going to explain why. A lot of you have been asking if I'm going to be doing more car videos and stuff like that, and this is the season to do it. And so today, thankfully, because usually it's just me and everything, and it's a pain in the butt to get angles and stuff like that, so I have a great cameraman, and the one who's shown me everything, my dad, is helping me today. He's the one who has shown me everything as far as vehicles, and I've just taken it and ran with it. So you can say hi.
Hi.
All right, so he said hi. He's not used to doing this. He knows about YouTube, but anyways, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to show you the issue of everything. And I'm going to explain it. So I'm going to give it to him. That way I can have my hands free. So there you go. You know how to work the zoom on that, right?
Right.
All right, cool. All right, so if you go to put gas in your vehicle, and this doesn't have to pertain to a truck or anything. Fuel pump's a fuel pump, plain and simple, okay? And your gas gauge does not go to full, or it's staying on empty, or it keeps on fluctuating, and it's not stable, then most times it is your fuel pump. So the other day, okay, I had filled this up, and it went all the way over here on the needle, okay? First thing that came to my mind, it's the float. Well, this morning, running around, getting errands done, and everything, it has gone back, and it has stayed right there. So definitively the float is bad. Yes, I could just drop the fuel tank, get the fuel pump out, replace the float, and we're good to go. But you know what? I ordered the fuel pump. I might as well do it while I'm there. Save me double the work. So the first thing you're going to do, and you turn this off, take the key out, and because I'm on an incline, you should always do this. If you are definitely in a sedan, all right, and you're going to have to jack up your vehicle, make sure you put it on stands. I'm going to be doing a video on that. But you're going to want to set your e-brake, all right? That way, if you're within a truck, it's not going to roll forward on you. Safety is key, everybody. I cannot stress that enough. Okay. For those of you who just skipped to this, I'm having to do it up here because I'm not allowed to work on my truck down there, which is major BS. I'm going to be showing you, come over here, I'm going to be showing you that you could drop this fuel tank with basic tools. No air. I'm going to try not to use any air tools, okay, even though they make my job better. I want to show you that the everyday DIY guy can do this. Alright, so you grab your 3/8 ratchet, and if I remember correctly, it's a 10mm for the battery. Okay. Some people don't disconnect the battery, some people do. I decided to disconnect the battery because, let me get my wrench. I decided to disconnect the battery because you have electric current flowing and you're working with metal and you're working with fuel. Well, what can a spark and fuel do? Oh, that's right, it can cause a fire. So that's why you should disconnect the battery. So you don't have to disconnect both, you can just disconnect your negative. Alright, let's see, nope, it is not that. So let me go get the proper socket. Okay, so it's somewhat of a 12. Okay, lefty. Okay, it's loosey. Righty, tighty. Okay, put that on.
Another way of saying that is clockwise to tighten, counterclockwise to loosen.
To loosen, yes. Okay, you're going to be a pain because you're connected to the ratchet. So let's see if I can't just make that work. Okay, there we go. See that? Alright, now there is absolutely no power within your system, and you just increased your safety odds by a lot. So on this particular vehicle that I'm doing this on today, on your Ford trucks, I believe from the early 80s up until about probably 2002, the tire rack has always hung down right here. Okay.
Let's see here. Let me get down here.
This is your tire rack. Of course, my tire is not here. Did not come with one. I got to order one pretty soon. Okay, so what you're gonna do is drop this. So you got this tang right here. Okay, and you're okay. So what you're gonna do here with this is you're going to lift up. Okay, bring this out. Okay, and it's a little bit of finagling to do, but oh, that's why. It's hung on by this for some off-the-wall reason, and that's why every mechanic should carry a knife. Okay, I'm going to cut that off. Okay, and there you go. So you're going to, oh gosh, swing this over and out of the way. You don't have to fully take it off if you don't want to. I'm not going to. Alright, so the next step here is we have 4 bolts, okay, and everything. We've got one right here, one here, and one over there, one over there. And then I potentially may have to unhook the exhaust from the bracket. I'm not taking off the exhaust. Just may do that so that way I don't have it get hung up on the tank on the exhaust and create more damage. So what we're going to do here, go ahead and stay on down, is, oh my goodness.
Should use penetrant oil.
Yes, penetrant oil. Okay guys, the main stuff that I use is PB Blaster. This stuff is phenomenal. Or you can use WD-40. Okay, so what you're gonna do, and if you have them, which I do, go ahead and put on some goggles, because trust me, having this stuff in your eyes freaking really sucks. Like, you have no idea, if you've never really done car work, it burns, and I mean burns really good. So let me.
Eye protection is very important, guys. Whenever you're working under a vehicle, or like Thor says, you know, you're using any type of liquids or anything. You don't want stuff falling in your eye.
No, you don't. Especially if you wear glasses. It hurts 10 times worse because your eye's already damaged. Okay, so I use PB Blaster. You can usually get a can of this anywhere from $3 to $5, and that does sound like a lot, but this stuff is a lifesaver, okay? Or you can get the regular WD-40, works just as good, but I do like the PB Blaster. It does smell a little bit more funky, can smell a little bit like roach killer, but let's go ahead and soak these down. Okay, now you don't have to sit here for 20 seconds spraying it unless it's really on there. The reason why you do this is because when you're working on vehicles, the bolts just sit and they gather water, dust, dirt, and they can be hard to... Oop, there we go. See, that's exactly why I wear eye protection. Okay. Anyways, you do this to help you loosen the bolts up, okay? Do not attempt to take a bolt off that you have not lubricated. If you do risk it snapping off. And that is not fun. Trust me. So then you're looking at taps and dies or grinding it out. And your job just got a lot harder. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and let these bolts sit for a good 2 minutes, and then we'll proceed with this. Yeah, how's it looking on that end? Flip it towards me. The little, see if you go like that. Okay. Let me turn on the light here. Okay. So, all right, everybody. Now you can take off your eye protection. You don't need it right now. You're not spraying stuff up here. The longer you do let this sit, the more it's going to work for you. Okay. Now, for this,
penetrant, you let the oil. The longer you let the oil penetrant soak,
okay,
the better it is to break bolts loose.
So on my truck, socket size for this is a 15 millimeter. Now you're not going to be able to use the short socket because you have no room to put your ratchet. I will show you that right now. Okay, so I'm doing it with these tools to show you that yes, just basic tools can get this job done. Okay, you're not supposed to, yeah, it's on there, that's great. Okay, but do you see how loose that is? Okay, if I were to go to break this loose, okay, I'm not gonna get anywhere, plus I can snap my ratchet. Alright, and that's the most important thing in a mechanic's toolbox is his ratchet. So to make this easier, you're going to use a long socket, okay, and a breaker bar. Why are you going to use a breaker bar? It's going to make it easier to bust this nut loose, and basically that's why. Alright, gives you more leverage. Leverage is key, everybody. Trust me. So, lefty loosey, you're going to go this way. It's on there. This thing may never have been serviced. I would not be surprised. Wow. Okay, what you can do, this breaker bar, you can get it Harbor Freight and everything, that's great. This one, you know, it's a decent long handle, but I'm having, you know, having to get up and use a little bit more elbow grease. So what you can do, you can just stay down there to make it better. Okay. Is you can put a metal pipe on there. Okay, it's not going to do any damage. It's going to, in fact, help get these off. Get the bolt off you're trying to get off. Alright, so what you're going to do, you're going to attach your breaker bar. You can take a pipe, any pipe, okay? You can get a pipe off your jack, metal pipe that's laying around, and you're going to put it right here, okay? So, see that? I am able to, I don't have to kind of sit up to get the strength to loosen this up. Alright, normally I would just take my air gun and this thing would be off, but I'm doing this for you guys. So okay, now it's getting easier to come off. So this will happen. Your socket might get stuck. Just wiggle it, take a little hammer, give it a couple taps, should come right off. Remember, use the right size socket. Okay, so there we go. See, now I'm going to be able to take my ratchet, okay. See? Now it's coming off like it's no one's business. So we're going to get this off. Wait a minute, hold on. Okay, all right, everybody. So, all right, let's see real quick if this is actually coming off. Sometimes there's a bolt and a nut. All right, so I'm gonna feel with my fingers and see if this is coming down, even though everything is spinning. Okay, so. Okay, I can sit here all day, keep on ratcheting this nut, even though I've broken it loose, which is awesome. Okay, it's not going to come off. So, what you can do, and unfortunately it's in such an area that you can't get a camera up in here. So what you're going to do is you're going to take another ratchet with the socket on top, and you're going to have
or
that,
a wrench.
Or a wrench, yes. And you're going to have that on tightening while you have this on loosening. Okay, you're stopping the top part from moving and keeping this down. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab a wrench, or should I say another socket. Okay, let's see. That looks to be about 13. And in this case, I'm gonna use a small. I can't get that to fit. Okay, it is a 13. Awesome. Okay. In this case, I'm lucky, so I didn't bring any of my wrenches, so I am going to be able to use my ratchet. But in most cases, you would just use a wrench. Make sure that you have it on the tightening position for up here as you're loosening up this nut, everybody. Okay, so you're gonna get it on there. Come on. Well, don't have to put it on the way I did, but go ahead and attach it. Okay, there we go. All right, now you will see. Okay, when you're doing this and you're hearing it click up there, you don't have it in the right position. So put it in the right position. Okay, what you can do, you don't have to necessarily hold it as long as your ratchet or wrench has a stop point. Luckily for me, I do have that stop point. So you're just gonna keep going until it hits up against something solid and you're good to go. See that? And I'm gonna have to do this on all 4 of them. Sometimes you have to hold it. Okay, we're starting to get that nut right there. Okay, we should be able to just, there we go. Alright, so take your ratchet off. That's one of the pieces. Now, tip, okay, to keep these together, because right now I cannot reattach it. Go ahead and thread that through, put it in the glove box, and after I'm done getting this all taken down, I can just put them right here. If you can put it back in its place and everything, it's easy because you don't have bolts on the ground, stuff like that. You don't want to go looking through bolts, especially if you're working in dirt or gravel, and bolts do like to roll. I've had it happen. So I'm going to do the rest of these and then show you guys the fuel tank, and we will bring this down.
One.
Okay. Alright, so got that down off of there. Had to finagle the other clamp off, and now what you're going to do is you take your filler neck and take it out. Okay, this is exactly why you do not drop the tank on your truck. They have this long tube. Okay, this inner tube goes all the way in the gas tank, and I don't think there's gas in the tube, which is good. Nope. Okay, so you take your filler neck, put it down there. Now, what we have to do is we got to position a jack right here and disconnect everything, all the connectors. So we're going to be doing that and lower this down. So I'm going to get that all prepped, and yeah. Okay. Alright, so as you can see, you have to lower down the tank. Now I do not have the fuel lines disconnected or the connector unplugged. This is just to get access to it. So get yourself a jack, preferably like this. You can get this at Harbor Freight for under $100. Or you can use a 2-ton jack with a ton of freaking wood. I got these handy dandy blocks, so I didn't have to bring up so much wood. And now, in theory, you're going to lower this down. And the fuel tank is dropping. And we're going to leave it right there for right now. Okay? Now, comes the fun part for me. I have to see if I have access to get to the fuel lines and the plug itself. So we're going to see if we can't get in there and give you guys an angle of what we're looking at. That, we're going to need possibly this. Alright, so what we'll need. Goodness. Okay. Well, I see a connector. Does not look like a fuel connector. So, basically, I'm going to have to disconnect the connector, lower this down some more, and hopefully get more access to where the fuel lines are. So, well, that's what I'm going to do, and then I'll continue from there. Where is it? Yep, right there. Okay. I'm going to be disconnecting that connector. Okay. Then I'm going to lower this down and then show you guys what it all looks like and what you need to do next. Okay. Another tip for you guys for these lines to make sure you don't get them crossed. So you can take a Sharpie and just put a mark right there, and make it to where, you know, okay, that one lines up there, boom, boom, boom. In the event that you get confused which one's which, you got it. Alright everybody, the next step in this is disconnecting that connector right there, and you got to take off this hose right here that connects to that line. These other two right here are crimped on and have to be disconnected from the top. So I got to see how I'm going to be able to do that with limited amount of space and everything. So yeah. Okay, Okay, everybody, so with this, all right, you gotta unhook these lines right here. This is to your evaporator in the tank, and then over here you can see the fuel lines are right there. Now I do not have enough clearance to get my hands up in there and disconnect the fuel lines, so that guy's hanging me up. So you gotta fish him out and over, okay, then move the tank to the left. All right, it should give you enough clearance to disconnect the lines, and then you can drop the tank. All right, so these two things right here, the one that hooks over there from the last part I showed you, okay, fish that hose out, then shift the tank to the left, and you should have enough clearance to bring this down. Okay, everybody, so a quick tip. Most of the time, these evaporator things, whatever they're called, you try to take these hoses off and they will crack off here. They're very expensive, so if you have the access to, just take it out of the tank. Easy, simple. Now it's time to disconnect these. So I'm gonna let my cameraman film. I'm gonna hand it over to him. I'm trying to call him my cameraman. He's my dad, but it's not every day that I get a cameraman. Alright, so I need to go grab my fuel disconnect line tools. Okay. Hopefully I brought the right sizes. And, okay, I see them. Oh, okay. It's only one size, but I hope I brought up the right one. Because otherwise I gotta walk back down. That's what sucks about having to park this up here. Well, thanks to my landlord. Oh, gosh. Everything is down there. Okay, so. And you can get these fuel disconnect line tools from Harbor Freight for under $5. Okay, come in multiple sizes. They even have plastic ones. I mean, you don't use them every day, but trust me, when you're doing stuff like this or fuel rails, these
it's a quick disconnect. You use them for, you know, sometimes power steering lines, sometimes for air conditioning.
Air conditioning. These are very handy. They call them fuel disconnect. That's what they're labeled under. So look, at Harbor Freight, it's the cheapest way to get them, and they've held up. So don't think just because it's cheap, it's gonna break. These have held up. I've abused them, used them, everything. So trying to see if we can get you guys some action of how these work. So take my hat off. All right, so what you're going to do, and these look pretty decent in size, is you're going to slide it on like that. Now, it seems like this is bigger or smaller. So you're going to go to the next one. I'm gonna, no, that was a 5/16. Oh boy, I don't think I brought up the right size, guys. What you're supposed to do with these, you're supposed to find the right size, and you slide it in there, and basically you just push on, and it disengages the feet to get the clamp to release, and there you go. Okay, in this case, I don't think I've brought the right size. I mean, yeah, it's fitting around the line, which is easy to do, but as you can tell, it's not really going in, so I need to go get the proper one. So I will be right back. Okay, everybody, so for a quick tip, while I'm going to walk down and get the proper size that I need, in this case, this truck was on a farm basically most of its life, and it's got all this dirt on it, as you can hear and see probably, because I am covered in this stuff.
So more than likely the fuel lines have been caked with dirt and they're a little bit rusted where the fuel pump is attached to. Okay, so what you're going to do, take some WD-40, make sure you get the straw, it makes it a little bit easier, and you're just going to soak some stuff in there. Alright, and what WD-40 is water displacement 40th formula. Okay, so this is going to loosen up all that dirt. Hopefully whatever surface rust there is, it can give me more leeway when I go to disconnect these lines and I'm not hammering things on or trying to put pliers on these to disconnect. So while this is soaking, I think I'm almost out in my can. Almost. There we go. Yeah, that's the kind of action I want to see. Alright, I'm going to let that soak.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, everybody, so got the right one, thank God. Now, for future reference, when you go to put the new one in, you got to put the pump in, jack this up, and you got to reconnect these lines. The blue one is for this higher side right here, okay, and this black one is for this side right here. Alright, so I'm going to get this out, put the fuel tank in the truck bed, show you how to take the fuel pump out, how to install it, and then more than likely I'm going to call it there. That is getting cold, and I will finish the rest of this tomorrow. So, alright. Okay. Alright, everybody, so the tank is out. I'm letting you all know now that the disconnecting the fuel lines can be a pain in the butt. But basically, you're going to put that connector on right here. You're going to push in, and then try to get your other hand this way and push it more forward.
Grab one of the connectors. You can show them.
Yeah. The connector that I used on this particular job was this one right here, which is a 3/8. Alright, and you put it right here. Okay, sorry I wasn't able to show you, I am running low on battery power. Okay, that's where the connector sits. You're going to put this in, it's only going to go about that far in, okay? Then you're going to take the connector and push in, and that should get it to where the feet disengage, and you can pull the connector off. Alright? Don't lower the tank as far as it can when you're trying to disconnect these, because you strain your lines, and that would be a bad day. So what you're going to do, next step, and like I said, I'm running low on battery power. Part 2 will be tomorrow, but you're going to take WD-40, just clean all this off right here. You don't want dirt falling into your tank. That can clog your fuel injectors, get stuck in your fuel line, and be a pretty bad day for you. So now we're going to take this off. Now a lot of you would think, oh, I can just pull it up. No, there's an inner ring that an outer ring and an inner ring. Your inner ring locks in. That's what seals all this. Alright, now you can see that there's an arrow pointing this way. Alright, that's where the arrow needs to be. Now I'm lucky that I have that arrow, because it's telling me that's the way the pump needs to go. On the new one, I'm not going to have that. So you have to watch how this comes out, and that's how you have to install the new one. Now it's lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. What you're going to do, you're going to take something like this, or a flat blade screwdriver, aka flathead, and you're going to get on the inner ring here. Alright, you see where I'm doing that? Alright. Alright, you take your hammer. Okay. It's starting to move the inner ring from the outer. Now this one, luckily enough, okay, is going nice and smooth, which is great. I've had it to where I've had to get air tools to get it off. Alright, like an air hammer. So you go. It is loose. Right. No, went a little too far on that. So, just a little bit more. Okay. And that.
There you go.
There you go. Take that right here. Do not lose this. Do not lose it. So you're just going to give this a good twist. This is caked with a bunch of crap, guys, so usually in this case what I'll end up doing is I'll take a flat blade and just break the seal on it. It should come out. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. Thought I had my flat blade in there.
It's down there.
Where?
Should be underneath.
In this case, I don't know where I put it. Losing battery and daylight. Here's my trusty knife. So you're gonna get right here. Okay, you're just gonna see that. There you go. Now again, you're gonna watch how the fuel pump comes out. Now, do you have this gasket here? Sometimes the new fuel pump will come with one. If not, I do recommend you going to AutoZone and getting one. Usually carry them in stock, but just never throw away your old parts. So you're gonna go ahead and pull that up. Now you gotta can't just pull straight out. Sometimes you're gonna have to mess with it. Okay, so as you can see, fuel pump's gonna sit in like that. To get it out, you're going to turn it counterclockwise, okay, come up, okay, and out. Okay, so I'm going to do this again. This is the stock pump, okay, so this is how it's going to want to go in, alright, you're going to go like that, okay, slide it in, boom. Alright, so counterclockwise to come out and up out of the tank. You're going to put the new one in. You're going to kind of do it at an angle. Put it in right there and go clockwise. Okay, so let's pull this out and show you the part that was giving me the fuel issue, the fuel reading problem. Okay. Okay. This does happen when you're taking them out, and I'm telling you right now, make sure you grab this. Alright, you don't want that floating around in there. This is done. This is done. Do not reuse this. You'll have a new one with the new pump. If you don't, then you need to reorder it. Okay. So this is your float. Okay. This is what picks up how much fuel is inside your tank. Alright, so you fill it up and it's going to be like that, and it should say, hey, alright, I have a full tank. Cool. Well, most times this part right here is what's causing the issue. Alright, and that either got shorted out or just stopped working and it's not giving the proper reading, or mechanically it's broken inside right here. Alright, this fuel pump, you can tell by the color, this is stock. This is stock. This is from '96. Alright, fuel pumps do not look like this now. but that's where that sponge goes. Be careful, there is gas still in this. Definitely do not light a cigarette or a lighter, as you will be on fire. So, well, that's gonna do it for this part. I'm gonna put this all up tomorrow. We're losing daylight and battery power. So that's it, guys. That's how you take out your fuel tank and the fuel pump. Okay. Last part before I forget, because I will. Make sure you save this gasket just in case. You can inspect it by going like that, and this has got cracks in it. Luckily, I believe mine did come with a gasket. If not, I'm gonna have to go to AutoZone and get one. Okay. No, if this didn't have any cracks in it, I'd be happy to reuse it. But as you can see right there, you can zoom in right there. That'd be perfect. Okay. So you can see right there, okay, how it's got a spine now. This would not be a good idea to reuse it. So, but whatever you do, do not lose that part. And that is it for today. Okay, everybody, so we are back finishing this up because he had to go home early. It was getting cold, whatnot. So, all right, here is your new fuel pump. All right, that one right over there is the old one. As you can see, I'm not going to lift it up. It's got gas. But what you want to do before you go to install is you want to make sure that the connector lines up right. So this is a 4-pin connector right here on the old one, and the new one has 1, 2, 3, 4 pins. So this is going to work. Now make sure that you take off this plastic piece. All right. Now before installing this, let's go ahead and get that all off. Don't get rough with this, because you break this piece, well, you're not going to be able to tell how much fuel is in your tank, and that can be a pain in the butt, especially if you have a big family. Alright, so what you're going to do, most cases, new fuel pumps come with the new gasket. Now this, if you're wondering, this is an adapter piece. If you need it, it's there. If not, yeah, just keep it around for the extra wire. Okay, so here is the new gasket. The old one that I pulled off yesterday was nothing but cracked, and I would not have felt safe using it. And if it didn't come with one, I would have had to go order one, and I would have been delayed by a day. What you're going to do is you're going to take that, you're going to put that on right here. Okay, you don't need to do any special thing to it, just get it lined up as best as you can. Okay, now if you can remember correctly, okay, fuel pump went in, gosh dang it, it went in sideways and then down that way. Okay, so be careful, especially you don't want to pop the strainer off. That's what collects dirt and all that stuff. So like I said, this is, gotta be careful. Let's see. Do not get wild with it, please. A lot of people like to just shove things in and call it a day. Well, that's not the right way of doing things. And it's going to lead you to having to do more work than you should have. Or you're going to have to pay someone to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and get this in, and once it is in, I'll show you what you do with this, and then we'll go from there.
Go.
Alright everybody, so this is why you don't throw away your old parts. Okay, I was trying to put this ring on, and it kept on popping up over these tabs right here. If you can zoom in right there and right there. Okay, you want all 4 of these guys locked in underneath here. Okay, yeah, you could get away with it. That's not how I do it. Alright, as you can see that this ring is a little bit bigger than this one. Alright, I can take the old ring, that's why you don't throw away your parts. Okay. Put it through your sensor. Okay. And as you can see, okay, it is going to line up basically perfectly with all the tabs here. Okay, you want to hammer this until you get the raised part to the end over here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now here's where it can be a little bit tricky. Okay, sometimes you got one end wanting to pop up, and you may need to, you know, grab your friend, grab your wife, just tell them to push down on it, make it even, and then you hammer it. Hopefully I do not need to do that. Sometimes that does happen. Okay, so we're gonna check that now. If you can see right there, all right, we got 1, 2, I think that, yeah, 3, and then see, I missed 2 of them. 2 of them didn't line up. It wasn't perfectly flush, so you got to back that off. Okay, and try it again. Sometimes if you maneuver the ring around and start in a different position, that works too. Okay, so that looks okay. That looks okay. That is a little bit off. If you can, you push down and you twist, and you get a little start on all the tabs. In fact, I think I just did that. Then you're basically home free. Alright, just wanted to show you what you can potentially run into. So, okay. As you're hammering, make sure everything is staying flush. You see these little raised tabs right here, these little ends. Alright, that has to go all the way to the final notch. Okay. Getting there. Gosh, come on. Not my coffee. And I will call that good. As you can see, the notches are basically right there with the tabs. So you got 1 right there, 2, 3, 4, and 5. As you can see, this ain't gonna go anywhere. Don't get rough with it. And that's how you put the fuel pump in. Now it is time to do the reversal of the installation and get this tank up, hook up the fuel lines, connect the sensor and the filler neck, and then reconnect the battery and see if we have a proper fuel reading level now. Okay everybody, so we got the tank down here. What you want to do is you want to, on this particular model, because it's got bolts that hold it in instead of straps, you want to get the bolts through the holes. Remember, there is 4 of them, okay? And also, key tip, when you're going to take up the tank, make sure you bend this filler neck hose up. That way it gets over on the frame here and you can feed it up and over towards the other part of the filler neck there. Okay, remember, do not cross your lines. Make sure you put that right there back in, and you connect that connector to that connector over there. Okay, and one quick tip, what you want to do, and I will do this, is you want to get this up, connected and everything, and you want to prime the vehicle just to make sure there is no fuel going out of your tank, your fuel lines are okay, and you want to start the truck for probably 30 seconds, let the pressure build, and if you don't have gas going anywhere, you'll be good. That's going to be the next part of this little video. Alright everybody, so One of the biggest things that you're going to run into that is a problem is connecting the lines to the fuel pump. Okay, you can't mess those up. But another key thing that I want to stress here, and I don't know if people have made this mistake, but I'm not going to, is your connector here. Oh, sorry for the dirt. Okay, see this connector? I'm pretty sure some people put it right there. They go to set up the tank, and what you can end up doing is basically breaking this sensor. Okay, so this sensor, this connector, has to go over the top. Okay, right there. All right, you have to put it up over the top, and then you got to connect your connector. All right, see, you have enough room to get this to lock in right here. I'm gonna try and do it to show you guys. All right, see how handy I can be with one hand here. Probably not going to be successful. I'm going to need two hands, but I'm going to give this a shot. Be kind of cool. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to use two hands. Anyways, alright. So, next thing that I can't stress enough here is putting this on. You gotta make sure it clicks. Also, when it comes to the fuel lines, one size is bigger than the other. Okay, therefore, you know, it's pretty hard to put the big one on the small one. It's not going to grab and stay in place, so you can't necessarily mess that up. All right, now you got your connector here. You want to make sure that you get fully on. I got it most of the way on, but you want it all the way. So I'm going to do that and show you guys what it is to have that fully connected. Okay, so what I mean by having this fully on is when you get it in there, sometimes you hear the click, sometimes you won't. But when you do have it on, you just want to go ahead and give it a tug. Make sure it's not coming off. Okay, and the reason why you want that is because if this does come off, your pump electronically is not going to kick on. Therefore, you're just going to be cranking, and your vehicle's not going to turn over. So now, the key here is to get this tank the rest of the way up with the plates. You got to line it up with these bolts. Then you take those nuts and you draw this up. Also, got to put in the filler neck and everything, and after that's all said and done, it's time to make sure it runs and we have a proper fuel reading. Alright, and another key thing here, do not forget to take this line, alright, and connect it to that over there. Okay, so do not forget that. Make sure you take this line, put it over the top, and you feed it through. I don't think I need to necessarily show you guys what you need to do with that, but make sure that you do put a hose clamp on that end and put it on the line, tighten up that clamp. That way it does not come loose. Alright, so this next part that I'm doing here, okay, if you're lucky enough to have a buddy with you, in this case I do have my dad, thank the Lord, to help me with this part. Okay, sometimes what people do is they'll hook it all up and think they got the fuel lines on properly, and they go to prime it and there's gas going everywhere. And this is just a little thing that you can do as long as you have a buddy to basically see if you've done this right, save you a little bit of time if you did it wrong or something's up. So you're going to reconnect your battery, okay, and what you're going to do is you're going to have your buddy, okay, where, I got to grab my keys, I had them over there I think. Come on. Gosh darn it. Where did I put the dang keys? I know I had them. Probably put them on this side maybe. Nope. Right, give me 1 second. Alright, so I found the keys, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to prime it. There should be no gas. Okay, what you're going to hear is a and then he'll tell me if there is gas, or you can just stand and smell for it if you're lucky enough to do it on your own. Okay, so that went smooth. Alright, how's that?
I'm not hearing anything. I'm not seeing anything.
You don't hear anything?
I mean, it's working.
Okay, so yes.
So try to start it.
Alright, now we're going to try to start it. Okay, and real quick here, give me a second. Just putting some belt dressing on, that way you guys don't hear a loud squeal. Alright, here we go. Alright, try it again. Alright, no feel?
No fuel.
Okay, so right then and there, guys, you would probably be like, hey, it's not turning over. It is pretty cold out here, and the older the vehicle, that's just how it is. You gotta crank it over a couple times, and once it gets running, you let it run for 5 and you're good to go. Alright, I'm gonna finish putting up this tank, show you how you do that, put in the filler neck, and that is gonna be it, folks. Okay, so I'd forgotten, but basically, as you can see right here, yep, there are the lines. They are not leaking with fuel. There's no gas going down on the ground. There's no gas on top of the tank. That means the lines are properly connected and all of that. All right, that's the biggest thing here. And this job's basically 70% done. Okay, everybody, so when you get the tank in and whatnot, getting this filler neck back in is a pain in the butt. All right, but what I did discover is this bar right here is a big hindrance. So up here is a 13mm bolt. What you're going to do is you're going to take this bar and basically swing it over to the left, out of your way, right here. You're going to take this and you're going to put it in. All right, make sure you start feeding the inner hose into the tank before you put that in the hole. So once you get most of it fed in, get that put in there. This will be a little bit kinked, but plain and simple, take a flat blade screwdriver. And yes, just a flat blade screwdriver, don't take a knife, all right? Or you can take a Phillips, and you're just gonna go around it till you get this around the neck here. So then you take your hose clamps, tighten them down. This one, I can see where it goes. This clamp right here, okay, plain and simple, goes up and onto that bracket, okay? So just a quick tip, that bar is a little bit of a hindrance. So, all right, gonna do this and get the skid plates on, bolt that up, do the tire rack, and go get some new gas to show you that this is working.
Okay.
All right, everybody, so as you can see, the skid plates are on, and that is what holds the tank up. All right, now what you want to do here is when you're aligning these, use a jack. That's what I just did to line it up. I know I didn't shoot that part, I should have, but and basically just get it enough to where you can start each of these nuts, and then you can let the jacks down, you're good to go. Again, you have to put something on top, i.e. let me see if I can be nice, there we go. Okay, i.e. a ratcheting wrench, which is a little bit better, or if you can fit a socket and a ratchet on top, that works too. So you put that on. Basically, oh, I gotta flip it. So give me a second. There we go. That's normal, don't worry. And you're gonna keep going until you get it tight, and you go a quarter turn. You could do the torque specs if you want, but for this, it's not necessary. Okay, and then get that out, and you basically repeat it 1 through 4, and then we will show you how to do the tire iron one more time, and then we'll go to the gas station. Okay. 2, 1. Okay, everybody. So before you take off to go to the gas station, make sure you put your tire thing back on. Unless you just want to take it off, you can do that too. But I'm going to keep mine on. Eventually, I am going to get a spare. So I'm going to put it in. Okay. And basically it's like that, and then to get it out, you go in the hole and out like that. So in, push forward, and that's it. It just hangs on right there. Okay, you can see it ain't gonna go anywhere. So all right, now we're gonna start this up, make sure it starts. Well, need to go and tighten up the battery terminal. That'd be a smart idea. Oh goodness. Oh my gosh. I believe I use that. This. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. And just do it enough to where this ain't gonna move. And that one did. I need to invest in another terminal sooner or later. Don't want to go too tight, you can strip the screw. Just tight enough to get a decent connection. I'll go one more and just leave it. Alright, that's gonna be good enough. So then, start up the vehicle. And I'm gonna spray some belt dressing. If you do have a squeaky belt and you're tired of it, your wife's tired of it, you can spray this on there. Basically, sooner or later I gotta do some top end work. I'm probably gonna be making a series on that. So spray some right there, some on the belt. Belt's good, don't worry about that. Replace both of them. Still work I gotta do on this dang thing. Hopefully just sometime during winter I will be. So we start it up. Here for the prime. Primed. Okay. Still a little bit cold. I gotta do fuel injectors sooner or later. Okay, now what we're gonna do, that was enough to get the gas flowing. You come back and you check, make sure you ain't got no leaks of gas. Check at your filler neck. You ain't got nothing there, got nothing leaking here, so the job is done. So now it's time to go to the gas station and put gas in. Alright. Okay everybody, so everything is done. Big shout out to my cameraman. He's going to put away my scan tool. And I just went and put in 10 bucks just to see if it was working. I'm gonna go fill this up tomorrow and everything before work. But yeah, so that is how you do a fuel pump on a 96 F-250. It's basically the same process for anything else, but it is different in some retrospect. So what I do recommend on your vehicle is to go to YouTube and try to find a video on how that is done. There are videos out there like that. So yeah, and don't worry, no, I did not cut my hair, everybody. I just have it pulled back, that way it doesn't get as dirty. But all right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and get off and watch the Cowboys game and Survivor Series with my dad. And thank you to everybody who's watched. More of these videos are coming, and yeah, pretty excited to do more of these on my channel. So give me a like, give me a subscribe. Check the description box below for all the tools that were used in this video. It's not a paid advertisement. And yeah, so stay safe out there. Don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. Be safe when you're working on vehicles. Remember that I love each and every single one of you, and God bless.